These are the two samples after incubating at 15 degrees, 37 degrees, 15 minutes at 37 degrees. You won't see any significant difference. I put them number 1 and 2 here. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to add 150 microliters of a phenol chloroform mixture. This is basically an equal volume of phenol, equal volume of chloroform. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it to the 2 tubes that my sample is in, but also 2 tubes that are going to be used for the second extraction. So I'm going to do those second tubes first. 150 microliters. This liquid does drip a lot easier than the phenol on its own, and it's because the chloroform drips very easily, has very low surface tension, so be a little bit careful when you're doing this for the first time. Alright, so I've got 150 microliters. So the phenol and the chloroform mixture form an organic phase, that's at the bottom. It's got a little dye in it, yellow dye to make it more visible. And on top you can see our DNA aqueous sample. What I'm going to do to extract the proteins from the DNA sample, the proteins include leftover proteins from the cell and the RNase itself, is by extracting it with the phenol chloroform mixture. And I'm going to do that by vortexing for about 10-15 seconds. And then I'm going to centrifuge it. So by mixing it, vortexing it, we're forming an emulsion. We're having the organic and aqueous phases mixing. You can see this mixture. You can see it's starting to separate already. And now I'm going to centrifuge this for 1 minute to separate the 2 phases. Okay, so we can see the 2 phases. Liquid aqueous phase on top that contains our DNA. The organic phase on the bottom, that's the phenolchloroform that's got some proteins in it. And you can see there's a white interface in between. We want to avoid that white interface, we just want the top. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to take off my glasses for this. I'm tilting it at an angle, I'm reaching into the aqueous phase, and I'm removing the aqueous phase. Alright? I'm going to put this into the second tube, and there's a tube that already has some chloroform phenol. Now, the other thing I like to do here is to lift up. You can see that this whole white interface sort of sticks together, so I can lift it up on the side, and now I can actually reach in to try and grab the little bit of aqueous phase that's left behind. I've got a little bit of the phenol phase in there. That's okay because I'm going to be doing this extraction a second time. All right, so you can see now there's a white interface and there's the organic phase below. I'm going to keep this phenol here. We don't want to just discard that. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that. I'm just going to keep it over here for the moment. All right, let's do the second one. Same way. You can see there's a white interface. I'm going to reach in. I'm going to grab. I'm trying to keep the tip just underneath the surface of the liquid. Okay, I got a little bit more of the phenol phase there, and I can actually just pipette that out. Okay. All right, so this goes into the second tube. It would be a good idea if I close my first tube, make sure that I don't mix it up. And now let's try and grab that pellet away, leaving exposed the aqueous phase that I can now try and recover. And again, I'm going to extract this a second time, again by mixing that by vortexing for about 10, maybe 15 seconds. And then I'm going to centrifuge it for 1 minute as before. The step after this is to extract it with just chloroform. That allows us to get rid of the phenol, and it's easier to remove the aqueous phase from the organic phase when it's only chloroform. So 1 minute for the second spin is up. And now you can see the 2 phases, aqueous on top, phenol, chloroform, organic phase on the bottom, and now you don't really see that interface. You might see an interface even on the second extraction. In this case, we're going to choose 1 and 2, and I'm going to transfer the aqueous phase, I've already got about 300 microliters of chloroform in each of those tubes, next tubes. Okay, so mostly aqueous going into here. There's just a little bit of sample here, which I'm going to try and retrieve. And again, if you get a little bit of phenol, that's okay, because this last extraction should remove that. And I'm going to keep my tubes over here. I'm going to close this one so I don't, less chance of mixing up the samples. Right, so just underneath the surface. And this time I don't think there's significant stuff left behind for me to try and recover. The bottom, you can see there's no color here. The chloroform is colorless, as is our aqueous sample top. You might be able to see the interface in between. I'm going to vortex this again for maybe 5-10 seconds and spin for 1 minute. And then we'll take, the next step is to then apply this to our pre-spun spun column.